Welcome, everyone.
I'm Blaze.
And I'm Breeze. And thanks for stopping by.
So, we're going to talk about our top three misogynists today.
Yes. And this was planned out long before, right? So this is not something that we decided out of the blue we were going to talk about. This was planned months in advance. It just so happened to fall on this recording day of May 7th, 2022, the year of our Lord. Okay?
Let's not bring God into our foolishness.
He's everywhere.
Let's not.
He's everywhere.
He is in our foolishness, but let's not invite him. So, my top three misogynists. So, before I give my top three, I'm just going to briefly define what I'm calling a misogynist. A misogynist is a person who believes in the innate inferiority of women.
Check.
I'm gonna leave it right there. Was that a hand?
That was a check.
Okay, yeah. So this definition can include women because women can be misogynist too, even though they are women. So my top three, Thomas Jefferson.
Wow, you brought it way back.
Yeah, well, this is what I do, right? Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
Gosh, Nelly, and you know, to honor the dearly departed Kevin Samuels.
So mine, I'm going to keep it close to home.
Okay.
It's going to be my parents. All right. and
All right.
and we share someone very similar on the list. It would be the departed Kevin Samuels, which he passed away suddenly the other day. And his platform just reached so much people that I didn't think I would encounter in my daily life, but it has.
I was actually introduced to Kevin Samuels via a WhatsApp text message. You gotta love those WhatsApp group chats.
Okay.
And old friend just randomly sends me this YouTube video with the question, thoughts. This is a black male, semi-college educated, and he sends it to me. And I watch it and I just sent laughing emojis. Because so this was maybe a year, no, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I didn't take it seriously because like he and I were always trolling each other, like cracking jokes on each other. So when I began to see his prominence in the speech of men I was dating, I was completely dismissive because how do I say this? I am in a professional field where I'm surrounded by men who champion women and women's inclusion. So that sort of rhetoric, it was kind of like time traveling to my past life. So I wasn't taking it seriously, but then when I would go out on dates with men, with men who were, semi-college educated also, I was a little surprised because that wasn't reflective of the men who are in my social and professional bubbles. But I think as I began to hear it more, I began to watch this man's videos, and not all of it, because I would have secondhand embarrassment for the women who would actually call in to get this type of abusive treatment. I'm like, sis, if you want to be treated so poorly, just go to the corner. Like you don't need to go on the internet. Um, so that's my third top misogynist. My second was Nelly. That video always stays in my mind. Tip Drill. There's this iconic scene in Tip Drill where Nelly takes a credit card and he slides it between the butt cheeks of a stripper who is performing in the video. And I remember
Iconic.
it's iconic. It's
Yeah.
iconic because I remember watching that video and I was just like, I didn't really mess with rap that much before that point, but that
Mm-hmm.
point was like the end of it for me because I was like, wow, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what this woman looks like, right? Because like I'm not gonna go back to watch the video, but if you look at the video, all you saw were the butts of these women. And I think the line in the song is, and I remember it vividly because I was like, oh no, I'm done. Like, Um, it quote, direct quote, it must be her ass because it ain't her
Mm-hmm.
face, it's need a tip drill. And that's like how blazed in my memory it is. And I was like, oh no, I can't deal with a type of man or woman
Mm-hmm.
who thinks this is okay, because it made me feel, it didn't make me feel too great inside. So that's my second. And my top misogynist is the one and only Thomas Jefferson. And I choose Thomas Jefferson because uh, I don't know if we're gonna keep this, but I am an educator,
Mm-hmm.
and Jefferson plays a very important role in the mind of most Americans, whether they recognize it or not, right? But nonetheless, Thomas Jefferson, with the Declaration of Independence, he
Mm-hmm.
altered the course of human history, and this man was both a rapist and a slave owner. And I pick him as my top misogynist because yes, he dropped this Declaration of Independence that changed the world forever. And yet this man owned millions of dollars of humans held in assets. And he was such a vivid rapist. He was traveling around abroad with his rape victim, Sally Hemings, to France, like during the entire time that he's constructing these ideas of freedom and liberty, right? So I placed him up there as a way for me to be aware that not all misogynists wear the rhetoric of obvious misogynists like a Kevin Samuels or an artistic misogynist like Nelly. So those are my top
Mm-hmm.
three in a nutshell.
Wow. You summed it up. We got to go back and read the Declaration of Independence for those of you who are not familiar. But
All
yeah,
you
we
need to
see a
know
lot
is
of
we the
hypocrites,
people.
right? A lot of hypocrites in this world. And this is what America, or who America was founded upon, these people, right? So I was speaking to my mom the other night, and she blurts out, "Would never make more money than your husband." I'm like, girl, what? Girl, what? How? I'm like, how could you say that? You made more money than your husband. And then she stopped and thought about it, and she was like, oh yeah, I did. She's like, don't ever let a woman make more money than you. What kind of nonsense are you saying to yourself when you not only weren't raised that way, you didn't practice that? So the misogyny is real, with the talking points and the rhetoric that's being spewed out, that people who are 70 years old are going to tell me some nonsense like that. Okay? So, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about our upbringings and our parents. So, my parents are hands down numero uno. And I think you covered it with Kevin Samuels. Like, I have heard in my life people who are close to me saying, "Yeah, yo, his points were amazing. He was trying to bring the community together." And I'm like, "No, he was trying to get his bag. He was trying to get his bag." All right? And he tore down black women purposefully just so he can get to the money. Okay? So,
Because at the same time, yes, this person spewed vile things on their platform, but the things that he was spewing, it wasn't extraordinary. So
no.
even though, some folks are genuinely mourning right now, I don't want to walk away from this brief segment making a mountain out of this person's impact. Um,
Mm,
because this is not a new message that he was spreading. And unfortunately, the misogyny was also not new. This is why a lot of
no.
men would say he's just spitting facts. Well, facts that have been already established from our parents' generations, their parents'
Hello.
generations, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah.
I specifically said US Mother's Day because Breeze and I are both Haitian Americans. So we traditionally celebrate our mothers the last Sunday of the month. Um,
Yes.
and tomorrow I'm just gonna capitalize on all of the discounts for US Mother's Day.
What discounts? It's always like a hike. Maybe there's a sale here and there. I don't know. What
I
discounts
just
you
got
got?
several text messages from several of my yoga studios. Get a 20% discount for that mother in your life. I mother myself, so
There you go.
it's this Haitian proverb, and I'm not going to be able to remember it in Haitian Creole right now. But the
Okay.
proverb is oh gosh, a spider has many children, but only one mother.